Hey there, arbitrageurs! In this video, I'll show you how much I managed to earn in just 1 hour of arbitrage. I jumped into 2 tokens at once, TUT and MUBARAKAH. MUBARAKS, that's quite an interesting token name. And I ended up making a pretty decent profit. In this video, I'll break down the trade from start to finish. I'll show you how I entered the position, how I closed it, and how much profit I was able to take in the end. I'll also show you the service that helped me find this trade. So watch the video till the end, it's going to be really interesting. Give it a like, subscribe, and let's get started. Alright. Let's jump straight to the trades. The trade was on the TUT token simultaneously on 2 exchanges, BingX and MEXC. And for the TUT trade, well, I entered the TUT token from 2 different accounts, and we also have another trade on the MUBARAKAH token. So let's break down what I did, where I entered, and how much I was able to earn in the end. As you can see on MEXC, I have 2 short positions open on the TUT token and on the MUBARAKAH token. MUBARAKAH. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. I decided to add a bit more margin to the TUT token because the liquidation price was very close there. So I added a bit more margin to move the liquidation price further away. Now let's keep watching to see what's happening here. Right now, my liquidation price is 0.06 and I can add a bit more margin again, so we add more margin and the liquidation price will become 0.068. Great! Excellent. We've moved the liquidation price further away, so let's keep watching to see what else is interesting. As you can see on BingX, I bought this token at 0.034, more precisely, 0.034. And on MEXC, I shorted it at 0.035 something. And as a result, we have a spread that we capture. Here we see the opening price for the TUT token at 0.003491. And on the second account, on the MEXC exchange, I opened the TUT token at 0.003642. These are new tokens for us, because the TUT token has just been listed on BingX. And we've already discussed a similar case with listings, so spreads often occur during listings. There is much less volume on BingX than on MEXC. Therefore, because there is a difference in liquidity, this leads to a difference in prices as well. In other words, it's a spread that we can take advantage of. Here you can already see that on BingX, the trading volume for the token MUBARAKAH, the name is wild, by the way, is $35,000. Just think about it. $35,000 is a very small trading volume for a meme coin. And on MEXC, at the same time, though, those were futures. That was spot. Here we're talking about futures on MEXC. We have $2.3 million. So we have a huge difference in volumes. That's why spreads appear. So we short on MEXC because the price is higher there. And on BingX, we buy on spot because the price is lower there. Well, let's start closing the position gradually. I'll close in lots of 9,000 tokens. Basically, there's someone in the order book who can take our order. We've already sold 5,000 tokens, and at the same time, we'll be closing our short on MEXC, because we need to close the position simultaneously to capture that spread. If we close a position somewhere but leave it open elsewhere, we end up in a very risky situation. We always need to maintain a delta neutral position and ideally close and open positions simultaneously. And if conditions were absolutely perfect, we would open with a single order and close with a single order. But unfortunately, that never happened. That's why you have to, for example, sell off your position gradually, like in lots of 14,000 tokens, 9,000 tokens, and so on. So keep an eye on that as well. Watch the trading volume, check the order book, and see if there are buyers in the book for your position. Because if you just hit market sell and unload your entire position, you could seriously pump or dump the price if there aren't enough buyers or sellers. Pay special attention to this on BingX because trading volumes are much lower there and it's much harder to exit a position. And in principle, it's also harder to build a position there. Let's also place an order on BingX and sell about 14,000 coins somewhere. That should be fine, basically, at 553 bucks. There we go. We've placed the order. And we also need to close our short on MEXC. As you can see, the price is fluctuating a lot up and down, so it's hard to close. It's always better to close when the situation is at least somewhat stable. When the price jumps sharply up and down, it's harder to close a position. By the way, on BingX, our sell order that we placed has already been filled. Since we bought on spot, now we're selling another 10,000 tokens on BingX and on MEXC. Let's close the short now and find a buyer. An opportunity just appeared in the order book, so we're immediately offloading 10,000 tokens to them. Excellent! By the way, our order hasn't been filled yet, so we need to wait because the order slipped away. Right now, we're actually first in the order book, so our tokens should be bought soon. Alternatively, if needed, you can click follow and it will execute immediately at market price. There you go. Excellent! The order just went through. Someone bought our tokens, which is great. So we're closing the remaining position on the BingX exchange, selling 2,000 tokens at a time, gradually offloading them because, again, trading volumes on BingX are much lower. And then you'll have to calculate everything manually because unfortunately on spot, the average closing price isn't displayed. Great! We've already exited the TUT token, we've completely sold the spot and the futures. So now we can calculate how much profit we've made. Now we need to close the MUBARAKAH token. Again, I didn't finish talking about spot. On spot, when you close a position, if you use limit orders, you'll have a different closing price each time, and then you'll need to manually calculate your closing price using a calculator. On futures, if you close a position, As soon as you close it, you'll be shown the average closing price. Unfortunately, there is no such thing on the spot, so you will have to manually calculate all this, then enter it into the table. So I placed another order for the MUBARAKAH token, MUBARAKAH. I don't know what it's called. In short, I will call it different. We need 3,000 tokens. By the way, there's still a spread between the TUT token on different exchanges, so we can enter the position again. So we only bought 2,300 tokens and we still have 20,000 left. No one wants to buy our position on BingX because there aren't enough buyers. That happens too. It's okay, we'll wait. Basically, we're in a delta neutral position and can afford to wait since the spread is still there for us. Let's enter the data into the table for now. As you can see, our first trade on the TUT token is closed. So we can already enter it into the table, but we'll have to calculate the spot sales ourselves because unfortunately, once again, the average price isn't shown on spot. We'll calculate the average and how many tokens we sold, and we'll enter all of that into the table as well. Now let's calculate the profit from the first 2 token trade on the MEXC and BingX exchanges. So what do we have? Let's calculate how much we made from our first trade. Token TUT BingX MEXC. I've already entered the data, the number of tokens, the sales and the fees, and it automatically calculated that we earned $21.47. Excellent. Basically, we captured the 2% spread, so that's pretty good. Our first trade is closed, and now we just need to close the second trade for the TUT token and the third trade for the MUBARAKAH token. I'll also share with you some interesting information that you're unlikely to find anywhere in the public domain, how liquidity works on the BingX and MEXC exchanges, and how to catch spreads between these exchanges. On the BingX exchange, our volume is $36,000. As I mentioned before there, our volume is much lower. On the MEXC exchange, we have a trading volume of $2.7 million. That's a great price difference. If the token starts rising on the exchange, a spread appears. But if the token on the MEXC exchange starts to fall, the spread begins to narrow. So if you see growth on the exchange, you can check between MEXC and enter a position. As soon as the price starts to fall on MEXC, by the way, the trading volume is high. Because of this, the spread will start to narrow and you can begin locking in your position. So I decided to enter a trade with TUT again, buy a bit more of this token, and gradually start closing my position in the MUBARAKAH token. I've already partially closed my position in the MUBARAKAH token because honestly this is taking a really long time, this opening and closing of positions. This trade lasted about an hour. I don't think you'd be interested in watching me open and close positions for an hour. So we're gradually closing our short on the MEXC exchange and slowly selling tokens on the BingX exchange. All in all, I've already done the calculations and now I'm entering the data into the table. As you can see, we've already closed the second trade on the TUT token and also closed the trade on the MUBARAKAH token. Now I'll calculate everything. Enter all the data, and as you can see, the final result is ready, how much we managed to earn. All 3 of these trades brought us $97.79, which is almost $98 in an hour. Not a bad profit from arbitrage. You saw for yourself that I entered all the data in front of you, showed the trades they were open. I opened and closed the positions well, actually. I didn't show how I opened them, because I started opening them before I began recording. Then I started recording. Now I'm commenting on what I've already recorded. That's it. And in the end, after I entered all the data from the first trade, we made $21.47. From the second trade with the TUT token, we made $39.15. And from the MUBARAKAH token, we made $37.17. So the total came to $97.79. Excellent. Such a profit in an hour is quite normal in crypto arbitrage. Look, I'll show you how to find such trades. I use the Arbitrage Scanner service. I mentioned this service in every video. We go to the Arbitrage tab, Product Arbitrage, Perpendicular Arbitrage, set up the exchanges where you want to do arbitrage and the amount you want to enter the trade with. You can also adjust other settings. I choose the spot plus future strategy, and then it shows us the tokens. By the way, for the XMR token, I've been watching it for several days now, and there's always a spread. Right now, there's a spread between the MEX exchange, so we buy on spot at the MEX exchange, and on the Bybit exchange, we short on futures. Look at the difference. We can take 5% profit. That's an excellent profit on the deposit. Accordingly, if you use leverage as a 5x leverage, you can multiply your profit. That's why new trades keep appearing all the time. You need to monitor this yourself, come here and set certain parameters. And here for the XMR token on MEX, by the way, there's an excellent trade. Right within the same exchange, you buy the token on spot and short it on futures. Why should you short on futures? Because the price is higher. The futures price tends to move toward the spot price. And on spot, we buy the token to hedge our position. In other words, we need to be in a delta neutral position. If we buy for $500 on spot, we should also short for $500. So it's important to take this into account as well. And it's important to really understand how all of this works. So thanks to the Arbitrage Scanner, you can look for these kinds of deals. They appear here all the time. By following the link in the description, you can get 1 day absolutely free. Click Get Free Trial Day on the main page and use the service. If you like it, you can purchase a subscription. There are different subscriptions: regular, starter, business, and platinum. Naturally, if you're a beginner, you can get the starter subscription and try using the service for a month. If you like it, discover some features for yourself and start using it regularly to earn money, you can then extend your subscription, for example, to the business or platinum plan. If you're a more professional arbitrage trader, it's better to go straight for the platinum plan because it unlocks many different features that you'll most likely use. You can read about it yourself. Everything is written here about what it unlocks. It's actually very convenient. It shows deals automatically. You just enter the parameters and the deals are found for you. So you can use the Arbitrage Scanner. Again, the link is in the description. Well, those are the deals we got. That's the profit we managed to take. $98 in an hour. I think that's an excellent profit for any arbitrage trader. I didn't try to guess whether the price would go up or down. I just found the spread. I entered and took it. Thanks to the Arbitrage Scanner service, you can look for such deals. If you want even more deal reviews, be sure to let me know in the comments. Leave a like to help promote the video and subscribe. After all, we talk about cryptocurrency arbitrage. Check out our other videos and we'll see you in the next ones. Bye everyone.